sponsors. Really, without them, this program will not have been possible. Looking back all the years now, we got support from FIRST, from the Lego Foundation, and from SAP. This season especially, FIRST and the Lego Foundation has made huge contributions towards grants that we will explain later on and in future sessions to come. SAP has been our long-time partner, supporting our operational cost and some teams throughout all the years. We have to thank them thoroughly. And then we have other program sponsors. So it's smaller sponsors, but nevertheless, they make a huge contribution towards the program. It is Sage and then Dow. And Dow is a new sponsor for this season, so I hope we can keep them as a sponsor for the season to come. Then a summary of our program today. So I will have a quick say about the rebranding of FIRST. Then I'll introduce our first key volunteers. We'll quickly look at past teams from the past season and the teams that we expect for the new season. Patricia or Dr. Gous will explain the season timeline. Then Erin and Lara, who's running the first Lego League Discover program, will have a short say about the Discover program. Linda, who's now responsible for the first Lego League Explore program, she will quickly introduce the Explore program. I will then mention first Tech Challenge. Patricia will then talk about first Lego League season changes, and she will talk about the project. Then Paul will talk about the judging changes, and then John will take us through the robot game and changes. Okay, so in a nutshell, FIRST has done a little bit of rebranding. It's not a big change. They've now grouped all the Lego programs underneath First Lego League. So where it used to be First Lego League Junior, First Lego League, and Discovery, they've now changed it to First Lego League Discover, First Lego League Explore, and First Lego League Challenge. It's still the same age groups, just all three programs now resides under First Lego League. And then FIRST still has First Tech Challenge and First Robotics. So it will be the three main streams, and where in South Africa we run First Lego League and First Tech Challenge, and we do have one First Robotics team as a private team in South Africa. Okay, now our key volunteers. So we have started the first non-profit organization a couple of years back, and I'm glad to announce that we have more official volunteers supporting this organization. So myself, I'm still the operational manager. Then Dr. Paul Stapelberg is still the national judge advisor. John Hayes is the national head referee. Then we've got a new position, but not a new person, is Dr. Patricia Gous. She does grants operations manager and coach capacity building. This is quite an important role for growing our coaches and making sure they've got the support that they need to have the confidence to be able to do this program. Then we have official volunteer communicators, Diana. She was always working in the background communicating with the volunteers, so we made it an official volunteer communicator now. So all volunteer communication will be coming from Diana. Then we have team liaison. Many times we neglect to communicate properly to the teams. So Mariska's responsibility is to communicate to the teams. I believe she has reached out to many teams already. So, and she's also not a new face. Then First Lego League Discover program managers. That is now Lara Gous and Erin McKenna. They run First Lego League Discover program and grants associated with the Discover program. Then First Lego League Explore program manager is Linda Small. She's also not a new face, she's very familiar, and she will be responsible for the Explore program. So all the communication and questions will be raised to her. And then I've got a new administrator, it's Leandra. She's a student at TUT. She's managing all the administration in the background, sending out communication, accepting invoices, creating invoices, quotations, whatever the case may be, and doing the shipment. Okay. So now looking at the past season, so if we're looking at the previous season, for First Lego League Discover, believe it or not, we had 450 children that we reached, or 450 teams. And then we, for this new season with the grants that we expect. I think that shouldn't be teams, it's children. We reached 450 children past season, and this year we will reach 800 children with the Discover Grant. So that is one of the reasons why we've appointed Aaron and Lara, is to manage this program to reach all these children. Looking at First Lego League Explore, previous season we had close to 80 teams, many of them from Kiro Group. And then this season we expect 230 teams, and that's also due to a grant from First and from Lego Foundation. Then First Lego League Challenge, we had 250 teams, and for this season we plan to have 350 teams. So from the traditional number of teams, we expect to have less teams because of COVID, but since we have a grant received by First and Lego Foundation, we expect to add the number, and the total we expect to be 350 teams. For First Tech Challenge, we had 16 teams. We expect to have 24 teams, and that's also due to a grant from Dow. Okay, so now over to Patricia, who will explain to us the First Lego League season.
Do we need to see me, or can I? You know what I look like.
We do.
You do. All right. Good morning, everybody. This is indeed a very different type of season, but change is not always bad. And I think that if we work together as a community, we're going to make an awesome success of it. One of the sad things is we won't be hosting our Africa Open Championships next year, but we'll make another plan. So let's just keep that in the back of our minds. All right, so team registrations, the provisional registration fee, and then you've got to pay for the challenge set. So it's 700 Rand to participate and 2,600 Rand for the challenge set. What we're going to do is, even if you just pay the registration, that you're part of this virtual community. According to Johannes, the challenge sets are in the province, so it's going to be a logistical challenge to get all the challenge sets to everybody, but we're going to get there eventually. All right, so the season timeline looks a little bit different. So we won't have the mad rush at the end of the year to get all the regional competitions and the national competition done. So this is our season timeline at the moment, but knowing that we're living in a very unstable time. So this is our plan, and we will communicate if we change anything. So the registration is open on the 1st of July, but we're keeping it open till March 20. So March next year, you can still register. And today is the launch date, so this is the 8th of August. We've got 3 programs running. We've got the Challenge, the Explore, and the Discover. We're hoping to have virtual training sessions, and this is mainly for the coaches. We are very aware that we have no access to learners. We are very aware that there is no school activity. We are very aware that there are no robotics teams in the classrooms. But we would like to use this time. So we're going to schedule from September, we're going to schedule a number of training sessions for capacity building, for coaches, for existing coaches, who would then contribute to the training, and then to inspire and encourage new coaches. This is a time when we can share as a community, as a robotics community. And we will send out that schedule as soon as we finalize it, knowing that we have all 3 programs. We have the Discover program, we have the Explore, and then we have the Challenge. And for each of those groups of educators or potential coaches and mentors, we will then run training and support. Okay, now the idea, we've been running a pilot on virtual robotics, on the virtual robotics toolkit. And we thought we would put in, at least for the end of the year, a competition on the 27th and 28th of November. But that will be in the virtual space, and we will flesh out the details as we go along. But we thought we'd just like to end the year at least with a virtual competition. All right. So then for next year, the plan is that the challenge, the regional challenge, the First Lego League Challenge, the regional qualifiers, will then happen from April to July next year. And then the First Lego League, the Explore, those activities should happen from about April. We should be up and running to have our Explore events, and the Discover events hopefully by February, with the ECD centers going hopefully a little earlier, and then up until July. And then same time next year, we'll be back here. and then we'll have another season. But we have to work with this season. So to support, we've reached out to all the regional managers. We have a good problem in the Northern Cape. We have 2 regions. So we have a north and a south kind of region. We are really looking to support Limpopo and get Limpopo up and running. And I think the Free State needs some attention as well. That said, we have a WhatsApp group, and this is a national WhatsApp group for all coaches, and Mariska is doing a sterling job there. And then there's the virtual robotics. So we're using the software, the virtual robotics toolkit, and we'll be having some training there. It's an exceptional training opportunity, and we'll send out more details as soon as we have the schedule finalized. What I would really appeal to everybody, to all the coaches, existing and new, is to reach out into the community. And if we keep talking, at least we don't have to see each other, but at least we can communicate. All right, that's my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. And now we will move over to the Discover program, where Erin and Lara will give us a short introduction.
Good morning, I'm Lara Gous, and I'm one of the people in charge of First Lego League Discover. So FLL Discover is a program that's aimed at learners which are between 4 to 6 years old. In this program, children are taught valuable STEM skills, and this year the theme is Playmakers. So the learners will be required to build places where learners can be physically active, like an obstacle course. And Erin is now going to say what each team is going to need to start a FLL Discover team.
Morning, I'm Erin. If we can just click to the next slide, please. Thank you. Okay, for one team of 4 learners aged 4 to 6, you will need 1 Inspire Discover set and 1 Lego Steam Park set. Each child will receive a 6-brick set and an engineering booklet. The teachers or coaches will receive a team meeting guide. And if you want any more further information, we're going to be having some deep dive sessions starting in September. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Erin, Lara. And now for the First Lego League Explore, Linda will introduce this program.
Good morning, Johannes. You can open everything on this slide for me. Just keep on clicking. Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm hoping we're going to have a lot of fun this season with this challenge. I'm very excited about it. The challenge is all about getting people moving. So you'll see that as per the previous seasons of the Explore, everybody who has been involved in that, we've got May and Marco there on the right-hand side. They're back and they're in the engineering notebook. They're going to basically take the kids through this whole experience of getting fun ways of getting people moving. That's what the whole season is all about. It's called Playmakers. And they want the kids to think of fun ways of getting people more active. The engineering notebook will give you plenty of ideas, so don't get stressed about how on earth are we going to help the kids getting that done. So all you need basically is to have very excited kids and get that engineering notebook. They need to build that model and showcase their solution. They're going to make a nice team poster at the end of the season, and then they're going to share what they've learned at our celebration events next year as per the timeline. Johannes, you can go to the next slide and just open everything for me again. If you haven't done Explore, this is what you need. You're going to need 2 to 6 very enthusiastic 6 to 10-year-olds. First recommends 2 to 6 team members. We found that the optimal number is 4. So just think about that when you do start your Explore team. You will probably need 2 coaches per team. What the team meeting guides and the engineering notebook do, they split the kids into 2 teams, every team into 2 teams, May's team and Marco's team. So it might be worth having 2 people. I mean, it's not ideal if you won, but you can do it if you want, coach. But again, think about it when you start your team. You will get your Explore set. That will have everything that you need. It will have your engineering notebook, your team meeting guide, and all the Lego that they need to build their their model with. So you don't really need anything else. And then you will need your WeDo 2.0. That again, that's how we motorize our model. Remember, our model needs to be motorized, and you're going to use that WeDo 2.0 to do that. You will need an electronic device that's Bluetooth enabled, like a tablet or a laptop. So make sure you've got one available. It doesn't need to be a massive laptop or state-of-the-art laptop. It can be a simple laptop. We just needed to program the little smart hub. And you're going to need some team poster supplies, because you're going to do that team poster at the end of the season that you will showcase at your celebration event. We will also have deep dive sessions in September. So make sure that you register your team so that we've got your contact details. We're also going to start a WhatsApp list for Explore coaches, so that we can communicate everything that's happening with Explore to you during the season. Okay, thank you. That's me.
Okay, thank you very much, Linda. Now, first tech challenge. So we have the question of teams asking us, but I'm 60 now, what's next? So we have first tech challenge starting from 12 to 18 years of age. First tech challenge has a slightly different focus, where they assume that children has got their life skills development as part of First Lego League. First Tech Challenge focuses more on the engineering side of STEM. So the teams has to show the engineering process from defining the concept and the challenge and the issues to solve, the CAD design of the robot, and the implementation and the building of the robot. So with First Tech Challenge, you do not use Lego, you use metal. You can use any raw material according to the rules to design and build your robot. And it's played on a play field about 3.6 by 3.6 meters. So if you want more information on First Tech Challenge, you can visit the website or send me an email and I can send you more info. As you see, we are growing the amount of First Tech Challenge teams, and we hope to have together with Swaziland more than 30 teams. Okay, now we're going to the project, and I want to give the mic again to Patricia.
Okay, it's Patricia again. Just interesting, you say Swaziland is coming on board. We're even going to Mauritius. So maybe we need some volunteers to help launch in Mauritius. I'm just saying. Okay, so now we're going to do the project. And this year, again, the project is going to be very challenging. And it's about, and it's very appropriate that it comes at a time when we seem to be the least active. And the brief is that all around us there are opportunities to play and be active, and from open parks to cement courts in our classrooms and even when we're waiting in line, but more and more people are not active enough. Okay, so their challenge is that playing makes being active more fun, and you get creative when you want to play, and it's this creativity that is part of this project. All right, Johannes, you can move to the next slide. Okay, so let's just focus on the middle part about this 5-minute presentation for the innovation project. Okay, you have to identify a problem to solve for a defined community. So really, again, for this year's project, we're not going to solve a problem for everybody. The solution for old people won't be the same for young people, will not be the same for people living in houses. So you have to define your problem. And I think that helps the children in the team also just focus what their problem is and then make sure that their solution is appropriate for that specific problem or that audience. All right, so the first thing is you have to define it. The problem is that whatever are not active enough. Our parents are not active enough. Our children are not active enough. All right. Now we need to design an innovative solution to the problem in your community. And once again, we are not ensuring that the Eskimos in the North Pole are going to be more active. We need to focus on what we can do and what is around us and what is relevant. Okay, then the team needs to share your ideas, and this is really important, that they do not come to a competition with an idea that has not been tested. Somewhere along the line, they need to have shared the idea, learned taken the comments, maybe improved their idea and improved their solution. The last thing is that you need to pitch your solution. So you're not coming to the competition to blah, blah, blah about your solution. You are coming there to pitch it, and with enthusiasm and excitement, because you have to be convinced that this is the ultimate solution. Okay, so that leads on to the next concept of this Global Innovation Award. And really, I must commend the coaches and mentors. Last year, we had a good problem. We had a really awesome problem. We had too many potential projects for submission to the Global Innovation Award. And I really think if we keep up this good work, that'll be phenomenal. We're going to, again, make submissions to the Global Innovation Award. It depends on our number of teams that we have. And obviously, we can confirm that as soon as we know how many teams we have, we'll know how many nominations we can select. But I really think you need to keep that in mind. This is not just any project. It really is important, and it really is important that the learners in the team believe in the concept and in the idea. That said, we are very aware that there are many new coaches. There are new coaches and mentors in this community, and we need to reach out and support you. So in the September, as part of the September science seminars, we are going to include some research training and maybe show examples of how teams in the past have then presented their projects, how they have tackled their projects, how they have moved towards sharing their projects. So that'll be in September. I'm asking those who have had success with the research project or the innovation project to come forward and to assist. But I do think this is an opportunity for learners to learn these very important 21st century skills. And we have the time now for capacity building and to do it right. It's not going to be a rush job. Learners have lots of time to think about these things. All right, so that's that slide finished. Johannes?
Thank you, Patricia. And I want to give the mic now to Dr. Paul Stapelberg, who will quickly explain to us what has changed with judging.
Good morning, everybody. Paul here. I hope all of you are well, and I've got the privilege to take you through the First Lego League Challenge changes on judging. There are quite a number of changes here, and I want the teams and the coaches and the judges here to actually listen quite carefully on quite a number of changes that they've made. So the first change that they've made is where we used to have the teams for judging in 3 rooms. We had them separately in a room with the specific judges in the room. We are now going to combine all judging in one session with all the relevant judges together in one room. And the cycle is 40 minutes. The teams will spend 30 minutes with the judges, and the other 10 minutes between the next team is then spent by the combined judges, then evaluating the session. So this the advantage that we specifically get from a one combined judging session would be that the team spends 30 minutes there with the judges, and specifically from a core values point of view, it is quite beneficial for the core value judges to observe the team for 30 minutes. They are going to see your teamwork, even if you're presenting your project or even if you're presenting your robot. They will be observing the specific core value aspects from you. So there's an advantage for us to combine it, and also for the team's movement between rooms and things like that. There is an advantage to actually have it into one room. The second thing that we are changing is where we had competitions that we had to separate or put the people into different rooms. We eventually had a thing that we called room rankings. So the core value room 1 would actually rank the teams then in terms of a specific room, and then eventually we had to have sessions to combine and collaborate these room rankings to put them together for overall awards. So the whole room ranking concept now falls away, and the judges, the combined judges in this one room, are actually doing the evaluation of the rubrics together, and then straight after that, the rubrics evaluations will be sent to a central point for capturing. And then afterwards, obviously, the judging process will be the same, but then we have everybody ranked in the same way, which gives us other benefits. Okay, Johannes, you can go to the next slide.
You want me to go to another one, Paul?
Yeah, sorry, next one. Yeah. So the next change that we have, now just go back on.
Are you good, Paul?
Yes, okay, that. So the next change that we have is there is going to be a whole new set of rubrics for all three the areas. And these rubrics are now structured not as much in a technical way. I don't know if everybody can remember, for instance, the robot design had your mechanical design, your programming, and your innovation as your three categories of which they evaluated you. Now, so the new rubrics are now restructured so that it rather presents the journey that the team takes throughout the season. For instance, the innovation project and the robot design journey has got the same journey. It will be identify, design, create, iterate, and communicate. So within those journeys, obviously, you will ask technical questions about your mechanical designs and your programming and your innovation. But they want to observe the journey that you, for instance, has gone through with your project, or the journey that you've gone through with your robot. So the rubrics are now going to evaluate you with regards to that journey that you've been taken. The journey that we've got on the core values is discover, innovate, impact, inclusion, teamwork, and fun are the areas that they will look for. And here is now good news and an announcement. The core value presentation is eliminated. The teams are not going to do a core value presentation with that old big placard anymore with those words and things on. As I said, the teams are observed in the judging session for 30 minutes. And at the end of the judging session, the teams will get a short opportunity to do some reflection of their season, rather than specific technical things. So you don't need to do the presentation with regards to the core values. However, the presentation with regards to the project, or the innovative project and the robot design, still has to do their presentation of 5 minutes, and then there's 5 minutes questions on that. Okay, so the core value judges, also with regards to the 30 minutes that the teams spent with them, there are now 3 new awards that we have with the competition, which is replacing sort of like the old judging awards that we have. And the 3 awards is the Breakthrough Award, the Rising All-Star Award, and the Motivate Award. So in short, the Breakthrough Award is for a team that we see that has got significant progress in the season with regard to the confidence and the capacity. That is the Breakthrough Award. The second one is the Rising All-Stars Award, is where we see that this team is going to do well in the future, and they are a bright star, and we're expecting much from them in future. And then the Motivate Award is where we see in a team that they've got a culture of team building, spirit, and enthusiasm. So these nominations for these 3 awards actually takes place while the team is in their 30-minute session with the judges. The core value judges are identifying these things for us during the evaluation or during the judging session. Okay, and then one very important thing on the rubrics, we still have beginning and those 4 categories as we used to be. But we've now asking the judges, when the judges is evaluating a team on exemplary, then there's now going to be a space on the rubrics to give a reason why the team is seen as exemplary. For instance, like very, very good programming or very, very good something like that. It just makes it easier for us when we have all the evaluation forms together to understand why the team is actually in the exemplary for a specific category. And then also the new rubric has got a feedback section at the bottom of the form. It's got 2 sections. It says great job, or think about. Your great jobs is what we think you've done well, or think about it is maybe areas where you can improve. And then one of the, yeah, okay, you can leave that. Just the last thing on the rubrics. At the end of the judging session now, for 5 minutes, that all the judges sitting in the room are going to give the team feedback, to say what they think is good or not, or general feedback, so that they know where they maybe can improve or where they've done well. So that is then with a whole new judging session. Okay, so coming to the next one is also a problem that we basically had. Is what stays the same is that the 4 areas of project, robot design, performance, and core values was put together in a 25% allocation to give you a champion score. Now that basically stays the same, with the exception that because we are eliminating the room ranking now, it means that your innovation project, your core values, as well as your robot design, is going to rank you now relatively to the number of teams in the competition. So if there is, let's make it a funny number, if there are 19 teams that is in the competition, then you will have an innovative ranking between 1 and 19. And you will have similarly for core values and similarly for robot design, and your robot performance. Obviously your score rank will also be between 1 and 19. So then we will add these 4 scores up, and it will give you a final score, which we call the champion score. And this champion score is then also how can I prioritize, filtered from low to high, so that we can see what is your rank in the competition overall as well. So any of these scores or your ranking in a specific area is then obviously going to be our input and going to help us when we discuss with the judges on who gets what awards. So this whole process is now standardized, whether we're running a small competition or a big competition, or everybody is going to use the same formulas, and it's very transparent, and we are seeing everything together, which is quite a big improvement probably on the way that we've done it in the past. I think it is good that everybody can understand exactly what you do in the competition and how you are evaluated. Okay, so we use the champion score eventually to determine the candidates for the Champions Award, as well as the advancement that we will take for you to inviting you to the national championships. Okay, Johannes, next one. So one of the things that is not new, but a bit of new, because we in South Africa didn't do it well, often well, but it's about the Coach and Mentor Award. Sometimes we have allocated this award, and sometimes, most of the times, we actually did not do it. So the Coach Mentor Award is now a compulsory award. So we have to award it in a competition. So the teams get an opportunity to nominate their coach or their mentor at a competition to get the award. And there will obviously be a nomination form. And there are basically two questions on the form. The one question is, the teams will say, how does the coach mentor inspire the team to do their best? And the second question is, why does the coach mentor deserves the very special recognition? And then based on those two questions, we will then evaluate and eventually allocate the award to the coach. And I think that is it from my side. The changes, I did not go into too much detail. We during the season can obviously, with the judges and so, we'll have more detailed sessions, but that in short is the major changes that we are doing with regards to judging. And I think at the end, I don't know, I would expect maybe we had some questions on that. I will at the end see the questions and I will try and answer them for you. Thank you, Johannes.
Thank you very much, Paul. I'm very excited, especially with this Coach Mentor Award. I know it's about the kids, but if you're not a good coach and the kids are not having fun, they're not going to nominate you. So I think it's a good incentive to have a coach's award as well. Now, next up will be the robot game, and I want to present or share the mic with John, our head referee.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, John, we can.
Good.
I can even see you.
I thought I would not hide. Guys, for the newcomers, often the question is, when there's all these things, so how do they fit together? A lot of it, I think, was covered by Patricia and Paul. But maybe just to clear up, so First Lego League Challenge, like we're calling it from this year, all the parts in it share the same theme, replay, for this year. And I like to call it that it's like 3.5 parts, because for me, core values is the one part that's intertwined into everything. Then we have the innovation project that is another part. And then for me, like this 1.5 part is the robot. And the reason I say it is that the design part and the game for me go together, because they're not, you cannot separate it. But maybe what I should also say is that some people wonder if the robot now have to solve the innovation project, or the other way, do they have to work the innovation project into their robot? And for both, the answer is no. It's two separate things, even though it shares the theme. The innovation project does not have anything to do with the robot, and the robot does not solve your innovation project. So you don't have to try and work them into each other. What is important on the robot is that you have to work on the design, the programming, and everything for both things that's the subparts here, the design, because you're going to get judged on what you did, how you did it, how you came to that results, and then on the gameplay, we will see which missions you have done and how well you do them. Yeah, I think next slide, please. Okay, so the robot game, the documents is available from 2 sites. Both have the same set of documents, although the layout is a little bit different. You can get it from either one of them. You will get some of the documentation with your challenge sets, but for the robot game itself, you can get what you need at one of these sites. If you have any questions during the season, you're welcome to write to robotgame@firstsa.org, and me or somebody will get it and reply. Next page. Okay, so the documents that you will need for the robot game that you can get on the previous links are first the mission model building instructions, which is very important. You can download them as separate PDFs or a big zip file, but that will tell you how you build your challenge set that you receive if you have registered and paid. Then the next document, which is very important, is the robot game rulebook. It's got 3 parts in it, which are very important. The field setup, that will tell you how to set up your field using the mission models that you built from the instructions. Then the rules, which is more than the rules. It's got definitions and procedures, and then the missions that tell you what you must do, how you may do it and may not do it, and what points they are. Then the last document, maybe I must just mention, these first 2 are stationaries. They've been generated and they're fixed, they don't change. But the last document, the challenge updates, it gets updated as they find omissions or errors or clarifications. That document is updated. So you have to go and check frequently for updates. It might change your whole strategy. Okay, so it's very important to go through all the rules and definitions because they have changed from the previous season. So even if you have done it before, don't just assume I know it. Some of it have changed. It's very important to go through it. I think one of the things for me, for teams, is that teams benefit most if the kids learn the rules, setup and missions. It's not really the task of the coach or the parent or the teacher to know those rules and setups and missions. It's the kids that needs it, because that's the only way they can decide on a good strategy. How they can decide what they want to do is if they know where their boundaries are, what they have to do, and so on. Then maybe from the rules and the missions, the texts are very literal. It's not like you have to bring in the real world into this. It's literal. What they say is what you have to do, and if it's not mentioned there, it's not important and doesn't matter. Also, the robot game is not real life. So if there's a river or a dam on the board and you can drive over it, there's nothing that will stop you from driving over it. You don't have to go around it just because it's a dam. Okay, so again, this year there's a large and a small inspection area. Actually, the word area is wrong. It's a volume, because there's a height limit and of 12 inches, 30.5 centimeter, but you have to fit all your equipment. So your robot and equipment that you bring to the table to compete have to fit in either the large one or the small one. You have a choice. There's a points advantage if you can fit in the smaller one. If you cannot fit in either one of them, you cannot go on, you cannot compete. So you have to either remove stuff until it fits, or you cannot compete at all. That's very important. Okay, the next slide. Okay, so home is one of the changes this year. It's changed again. This year it's part of launch. Well, launch area is part of home this year. So it's a bigger area. These two are areas, even though the drawing is not quite like just the area. It's not the volume. There's no height limitation on either the home or the launch area. Home area is where, that's fine, you can go on. The home area is where you can work, you can store your stuff, and it's also the place where your robot return to. So it can return to anywhere in home. If your robot cannot return by itself to home, you will, you can go and fetch it, but you will have to get a precision token away. So I talked about the large and small inspection areas. The launch area is from where you can start your robot to go out. It cannot just start from somewhere else in the home area. It can only start from the launch area. Okay, so this is how the table looks for this year. You can see on the left-hand side where the big black part is, and the bottom corner quarter circle, the smaller one, that's the launch area, and the black part plus that is your home area. Next one. Okay, so a typical match for the people that's new will be that you get to the table and you first have to show that all of your equipment fit in one of the inspection areas. Then you basically have a minute to set up. You can then shuffle your stuff around in the home area where you want. You're allowed to calibrate your light or color sensors anywhere on the field, and you can visually check the table to make sure the setup is correct. If you're unhappy about any setup, you're allowed to ask the referee to go and adjust it. You're not allowed to adjust it yourself. Then for the first launch, there will be a countdown. Everyone wait for the countdown and you can send your robot out. The robot then has to come back to home, otherwise you will lose a precision token if you have to fetch it, but you can send it out for the next 2.5 minutes as many times as you want, and it can try as many missions every time. Once the 2.5 minutes are finished, the game stops and you stop the robot where it is and leave it just like that, and then the scoring happens between the ref and the kids and they sign off. So this is a typical how the match works. You get 3 of these matches on a normal competition, and only the best one of them count. Okay, so here are a few of the changes. There are actually more. These are, I think, ones that's like visible, and doesn't mean that others are not important, because at the end, one of the nice things of First Lego League is that the rules and stuff are very clear and everyone have access to the same rules. So the first big change, I think, is that the launch area is now part of home. So home is bigger than it was previously. Then the launch area, the height limit is removed. So there's only one height limit, and that's during the inspection in the beginning. After that, there's no height limit. Then the third one is because the home is grown into or over the launch area, jigs actually now can extend to the west wall. Last year it couldn't. Then the last, for me, bigger change is that objects that stranded partly out of base now go to the team, but they get a precision token taken away for that. I think that's my stuff. If you have any questions again, you can send them to robotgame@firstsa.org.
Thank you, John. I'm not too sure if there are any questions now. I'm used to using another platform where there is a chat box where you can add questions. It seems like there's no one here.
Johannes,
So maybe, yes.
Johannes, there's been a few.
Okay.
I think I've answered most of them. John, there's just one from Rudolph. He just wants to clarify that the large inspection area is the large plus the small together. He's asking.
No, the large one is just that area that was shown. So it's
Johannes,
not
do you want to go back to that slide maybe?
Yeah. So the large one does not include the small one. It's two separate areas.
Okay, Rudolph, I hope that answers it. Chris wanted to know about the height limit in the launch area, but I think you've clarified that there is no height limit. And then there were just questions about the remote events in November. What teams can participate? And whether all three programs and FTC will be involved in that.
Yes, I'll answer that one. So we are scheduling a virtual event, maybe this year, okay, for First Lego League Challenge. But remote events will only be hosted if needed next year. First is still working on it, but they're very far, so we can nearly implement the remote events. But I don't want to implement a remote event if we can do a physical event. So our first aim is to do physical events, even if it's only April, May next year, instead of a remote event. If we can then not do physical events, then we'll do remote events. But we'll have other sessions closer in next year, explaining the implementation and what will you need to be able to participate in remote events and so on. Are there other questions, Linda?
John, there's another one for you. Is there a height limit when all staff must be in the small area before starting, or no height limit anywhere?
There is a height limit just for the inspection period. So when you get to the table, you have to fit inside the small or the large inspection area, and that has a height limit. As soon as the inspection is finished, you can spread out, and then the height limit doesn't matter anymore. But for the inspection part, you do have to fit in the height also.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions, Lena?
No, it looks like that's everything.
Okay, I think then we can go over by watching the actual game. So there, yes. Okay, let me play the game. And then in the meantime, if you have questions, you can either
Johannes,
message
sorry,
that.
there's a hand
Yes.
up. There's a hand up. Somebody, let me just see if I can see who. I think whoever put your hand up must maybe just speak.
Yeah, unmute your mic and then ask the question. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I tried to send a question, via a written question. It seems it doesn't go through. All I wanted to know is whether, because other colleagues might not be able to get through due to network or whatever, is it possible later on, once all these presentations are done, for them to be distributed to participants so that at least, they can be shared amongst those that did not manage to go through? Thank you.
Yes, we will definitely do that. Thank you for that. So we will make the slides available, but we will also make the recording available so that they can hear the comments that we said. So yes, they will definitely be available. We will send the link later today. Okay. So you can type down your questions while we are watching the robot game, and maybe there will be more questions after the robot game. Let me see if this will display.
Johannes, there's no sound.
Okay. Strange, I have sound on my side. The sound seems to be up here. And there's the sound now.
No, no, we can hear you, but not the video.
Okay, so I'm gonna run it not from Microsoft, I'm gonna run it from straight from Explorer.
Before the
No,
actual video shows,
is it visible now?
before the actual video shows, it gives you an option, click here for sound. So you must click there to get sound out of Teams.
Okay, thank you. Was the sound now? Still not, because I need to find this now in Teams.
Okay, we also can't see the video now.
Oh,
Johannes,
okay.
before you share the video, share the screen, there's an option to click include system audio, and then you share that screen.
Okay. Open it here. Ah, cool. Do we have sound now?
Johannes, unplug your
Yes.
earphones.
This is the replay competition.
Are we having sound now?
Still not.
Hello, can anyone hear me?
We hear you, Johannes, but there's no sound on the video still.
Patricia, while Johannes is busy, can I maybe ask a question?
Sure, I'm listening. Yes.
For the core values based on the new rubrics, I don't see the words competition and racial professionalism. Is that still part of it, or do we, we only focus on the 6?
Yeah, only the 6 that are there, those are the ones that the judges are going to focus on.
Okay, cool. Because I remember last year they asked my rookie team those big words, and they were like, so I don't have to worry about those 2 words. And then one for the robot game. I don't know if it's relevant, but okay, don't worry. There's sound.
This is a free-play competition field. There are 14 missions which can be attempted in any order. You do not have to complete all the missions. Just try as many as you can in each 2.5-minute round. Only the score from your best round will be counted. Your robot must start from this launch area. You should program it to return to this home area when it returns from the field. You can handle and modify your robot while it is in the home area. If your robot and all its equipment is small enough to fit in this small inspection area, you will score 25 points. Mission 1, Innovation Project. During this mission, you will use the white brick model that you have made that represents the solution to your innovation project. The robot moves your white brick model into the replay logo, or to the gray area around the bench. Mission 2, Step Counter. The robot slides the step counter slow and steady. The further it moves, the more points that are scored. Mission 3, Slide. The robot slides the people off the slide and moves them to other areas, completely in home or on the heavy tire. Mission 4, Bench. The robot flattens the bench, removes the backrest, and gets cubes into the hopscotch spaces. Mission 5, Basketball. The robot gets a cube into the crate and raises the crate up the basketball post to the middle height, or to the top height. Mission 6, Pull-up bar. The robot passes completely under the bar in either direction, then later comes back and lifts itself off the mat at the end of the match. Mission 7, Robot Dance. If the robot is dancing on the dance floor at the end of the match, Mission 8, Boccia. If both share models have sent only one cube anywhere into the opposing field, then those cubes color match each other. If there are any color cubes in your frame or target, and if there is at least one yellow cube completely in your target. Mission 9, Tire Flip. The robot flips tires white side up, the heavy black tread tire and the light blue tread tire. If the heavy tire crosses the red flip line at any time, it scores 0. The robot moves the tires into the large target circle. Mission 10, cell phone. The robot flips the cell phone white side up. Mission 11, treadmill. The robot spins the rollers to move the pointer clockwise. The further it moves, the more points scored. Gray, red, orange, yellow, light green, or dark green. Mission 12, row machine. The robot moves the free wheel out of the large circle and into its smaller target circle. Mission 13, weight machine. Before the match, set the weight machine to the color you want, blue, magenta, or yellow. During the match, the robot forces the large lever down until the little yellow stopper falls to score points. Blue, magenta, or yellow. Mission 14, health units. The robot collects health units from around the field, then moves them to target areas, touching the replay logo, touching the gray area around the bench, or looped over the pull-up bar post. Mission 15, precision. If you interrupt your robot, you will lose a precision token. Precision tokens left on the field can result in extra points. Remember to read the robot game rules and check for any updates during the season. Good luck!
Makes it look so easy. Johannes, where are you? I think we've lost Johannes again. Okay, are there any other questions whilst we wait for Johannes to join us?
Seems I'm back,
Oh,
Patricia.
There you are.
Okay, excellent. Thanks.
Okay. Johannes, can I just quickly say about the team meeting guides quickly?
Yes, please.
Okay, so the team meeting guides are back with us this year for all three programs. For the Discover program, every learner gets one. For the Explore, also every learner gets an engineering notebook. For the for the challenge teams, we found that most teams don't, where every learner doesn't use the book. So we're allocating an engineering notebook per team, and we really encourage you to work through that. Also be guided by the team meeting guide. They are chock-a-block full of good ideas, and they do help getting the team thinking about their innovation project. And also a really cool thing which they've introduced this year is that we will have interactive online engineering notebooks as another option, so that all learners can interact with the material in the book. Okay, Johannes, over to you.
Yes, I think there's one big change as well that we haven't really mentioned. It's the class pack implementation. So, and I think the big advantage for class pack is if you start up first LEGO League Challenge in a new region or Explore, and you do not have a regional competition where you can attend, you can implement class pack. But class packs can also be used as a preparation for the season. So how this works, instead of having 10 children as part of a first LEGO League Challenge team, you now use the whole class for doing first LEGO League. So basically it is 12 weeks. It's exactly the same sessions than what is in the engineering notebook. And so you take your class of 30 learners, divide it into 5 or 6 teams with up to 30 children, and then they will do all the sessions in the book, and they will also build their own robots. And at the end of the 10 to 12 weeks, they will have an event in class. So this reduces the logistics for having a whole event set up with many volunteers and so on. But we will have another session explaining class packs, but it is definitely a possibility, especially when you're not allowed to have big groups coming together. That is something that we can explain to you as well if you're interested. I think that is in short. Are there any other questions?
Just a quick question on the timeline for the virtual engineering notebooks.
So we will send out the engineering notebooks to all the teams that are registered, probably Monday or Tuesday. We just want to make time and ensure we have a database right where we can see who has received it and who not. But that shouldn't be a problem. So the challenge sets should be delivered on Tuesday. So the same time or during the weekend, we will then forward the engineering notebook and the team meeting guide to the registered teams. Question here, class packs, are they designed to function virtually? No, class packs is a physical event in class. So the whole event, you will have 2 first Lego League tables in the class, and you will have 5 actual robots in the class doing class packs.
Johannes, can I also just say for class packs, it's not necessarily a classroom. If you can't do it during school time, you can also get a group of 30 learners and implement a class pack option, which means that all 30 learners then can be part of your first experience. And then after 12 weeks, you have a celebration event. This is the model that we use for Discover, and we're going to roll it out for Explore and Challenge 2. Thank you.
I see there's a hand up, Yameka. I will unmute you. You can ask your question. Can you just unmute yourself before talking?
Hi, how high is the height limit?
It was set many inches, and I think it was 30 point something centimeters. John, can you correct me there?
Yes, it's 12 inches or 30.5 centimeters.
Thank you.
But it's in the rules. So what I said was nothing new. It's all in the rules.
Okay. If there are more questions, you can probably WhatsApp it and we will answer it as they come through. Thank you for attending the session. And as I said, I think it will be challenging, but it will be a good season. It will make us think differently and act differently. So thank you all for joining, and we will end this session now.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Saturday. Sorry we couldn't serve you real tea and coffee and cookies.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Anis.
You are so welcome.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Johannes. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Baie dankie. Bye-bye.
Plezier.
Sorry?
Yes.
Yeah, we hear from your good presentation, but we ask every to send email for that presentation, please. Coach Siagamela from Avon in Bochum.
Okay, we will make the recording available. No problem. Okay.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay. Bye.
Hi, Patricia. Bye, Patricia. Bye, John. Bye, Jonas.
How's the Cape?
The Northern Cape is quite cold today and windy.
Likewise. Likewise.
Good luck to all of you.
Thanks, Hein. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Jonas. Bye, John.
Bye.
Bye. See, we still have about 20 participants. Some of them busy leaving. 15.
I actually feel like not leaving unless you chase me.
Johnny, there's nothing for free, Johnny.
You think you're gonna miss something, Johnny?
You know, it was too short. No.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, this is all good.
But Mariska, I think we should send out then a request on where do the coaches want more info on, and then we schedule the next deep dive session focusing exactly on that.
Yeah, do you want to just stop the recording, Johannes?
Need to figure out where to do that.
Well, that's also important. We'll put the list of all the sessions out. I think Mariska can put it out in the WhatsApp group. And then if we send it out also to the list of all coaches, registered